Here's how we can create a toggle animation on Alight Motion. So we want to click the plus icon to create a new project. So let's rename our project. Let's name it toggle animation. All right, let's use the 1:1 ratio for the project, and then we create project. First, we want to add a background. So let's stretch the composition area. We change the color to our desired color. Okay, this is nice. Next, we are going to design the button, the toggle button. So let's add this rounded rectangle. We'll go to edit shape and make it fully round, and then we widen it. Okay, I think this is okay, and let's increase the height a bit. This is perfect. So this will be the container for our toggle. Let's give it a color. Which color are we gonna give it? Let's give it this green color. Okay, this is good. Now let's add a circle. When working on design, when working on animation, you have to design first before you animate. So this is the design for our toggle button. This is how it will be in the on state, and then we're going to decide how it's going to be when it's off. Okay, so let's set our markers for the button for the animation. Okay, let it start at the 15th frame. Okay, this is good, and let's move 10 frames forward to 25 frames. I will set our marker. So now let's start animating, and we are going to be animating using keyframes. So when you want to animate, you use keyframes. For this toggle button, we are going to be animating the position and the color. So when it's on, we want it to be green, and when it's off, we want it to be red. So let's set the position first. We add the first keyframe, we move forward, and then this is the position we want it to be at the second keyframe. Then we can add the ease in curve. This is perfect. This looks very good. Okay, so we want to animate the color. So from the initial position, it will be this green. Let's add our keyframe. Then we'll go to the next position, and let's make it bright red, right? Or should we make it this red? I think I like the bright red. And then you add your ease in curve. The ease in curve is very important when you're working with animation. So we can see that. Next, we are going to animate this container. So for the container, we are animating the color alone. So at the initial keyframe, we want it to be this color, so we add a keyframe. We move to the next keyframe, and then we set the color when it's off. Let me use this dark color. Okay, I think I like this dark color. Or should I use this? Okay, let me use this dark. Good. So this is it, and then we add our ease in curve. Good. This is perfect. You can see it's looking so nice. Next, we are going to animate the background. So we go to the color. We are changing the color alone. So when it's on, we want it to be bright like this, and when it's off, we want it to have a dark shade. Oh, pure black. That's too thick. So let me use this color for the sake of this tutorial, and then we set our ease in curve. Now you can see how it is. This is looking so nice. For us to change it so that you can set it to on and off, let's add new markers. Let's start from 115. We set a keyframe here. We move 10 frames forward to 125. Then we set that. So we're just going to do the opposite of what we did initially. So we'll start with the button. From this first position, you go to the first marker, let's animate the position. So like I said, the first thing you need to do is to add keyframes. At this point it will still be off, so this is where the animation will be triggered, and when it gets to this point, we want it to move back to the initial position, which is this position. And as always, we add our ease in curve. We add the ease in curve. Good, this is okay. After the position, next is to animate the color. Okay, so at this point it's still going to be the initial color. We add our keyframe, and when it returns back here, we want it to be color green, so we add it back to green, and then we set the curve just like this. Now this is looking so nice. Now let's animate the container for our button. For this, we'll be animating the color alone, just the color. We are not animating the position for this. So at this point, we want it to still maintain its color because it is off. And when it switches, we want it to go back to the previous color. Just like this. Okay, I think this is looking nice. And then we set the ease curve. Good, I think this is looking nice already. And lastly, we are going to animate the background, and we are going to be working with the color. So for the initial color, it will still maintain its color. So we put the keyframes, and then we move forward a little bit, and then we set back our brighter color, and as usual we set our ease in curve, and boom, we are done. Let's play to see how it is. Off, on. Very good. And this is how we can just make a quick toggle animation in Alight Motion. You can see it's looking nice. So based on your project, you can design it the way you want and set it to the kind of color you want. So let's export our projects. You export your projects and export. So that is it, guys. I hope you like this animation. So you can like and follow us for more of these amazing animation tutorials. Bye.